just wanna make things right. Walk, keep us on the road. Try to
Hey, everybody. Okay. It's Kim Love Jones here, certified relationship coach. Listen, I wanted to jump on tonight for Thought Provoking Thursday. I wasn't on last week because I was doing my class, but this week I want to talk about why we feel like we're always losing in relationships, right? And so I think it's important to understand that there's some foundational things that are happening in us every time we settle for or we lose in a relationship, and then we get angry and we get upset. So I want to go into that a little bit deeper. I don't want to stay there. Say hello. I see you watching. Say hello. And if you need to, give StreamYard permission to see your name so I can see who's saying hi to me, right? But some part of the reason why I know that we are struggling with our relationships and why we're always losing in relationships is because we don't pay attention to what the other person is doing, and we don't pay attention to what the other people are saying. Now, I know that I have some viewers that are a little bit younger than myself, and that's cool. But there are some of us who know the signs, we know what it is, but we still tend to practice some of the same stuff that keeps having us spinning around in a circle, almost like chasing our tails, because we're not paying attention to the signs, of what a person is saying to us. Hey, I see y'all watching. Say hello, say hello. So didn't I tell y'all about coming up in people's house and not saying hi? y'all supposed to say hello. Y'all can't be walking up in people's house and don't say hi. Hello, somebody. Hello. Okay. But we always feel like we're losing in relationships, and we find ourselves hurt and in this like really broken place, right? And let me just say this. I apologize for getting on so late. I had like crazy doctor's appointments today, and I was so tired when I came home. Hey, Heather Gail, I see you, sis. I see you. Hey, Rodney, I see you, babe. How you doing, brother? How you doing? And I had so many doctor's appointments today. I came home. I had to take a little nap. Got to try to get it together. Y'all know, okay? I need a little nap time, okay? But hey, Yana, I see you, boo. Good. I'm glad you well, baby. I'm glad you well, Rodney. So, we find ourselves keep getting in these relationships. And part of the number one reason I think that we keep losing and finding ourselves lost in these relationships and not find ourselves in these wonderful, healthy relationships is because we don't listen. We don't listen to what people are doing. We don't watch what they're doing. We don't pay attention to their actions. We want to believe that we met the person that we could potentially live the rest of our lives with, right? And so we get involved, and this is specifically really, 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 truly for the ladies. We get involved with a man's potential. Men don't really do that a whole lot. They see you, they believe that you are this person, you're a go-getter, you're dynamic, they like your personality. They haven't, they just met you, so they don't know you well. And they believe that what they're seeing is what they're going to get. So a lot of men walk away wounded as well. But women, we just straight be trying to be with potential. And that's crazy to me. Like he's not even even grown at our age, right? And I'm, of course, include myself in that. We can't marry, we can't be with potential. Somebody has to already. Oh, hi, Charlene. I see you. Yes. That's my sister. That's my sister. Yep. So one of the things that we do is we involve ourselves with a person's potential, right? We go, oh, well, they could be this, they could be that. And immediately women, this is for women, but I got one side for men too. Immediately women, we automatically, we can change that part of him. And I know we too old, and we kind of got the idea now, like that we really can't like change people. Like we understand that. But for some odd reason, we will see somebody beat somebody, think that they're a very nice person, and then think that we can change them. And we can't. We can't. That if that is who they are at their core, why are you involving yourself with somebody that you know doesn't match your fly? Doesn't match your energy. They don't want what you want, right? So it was interesting because, en route to the doctor's today and running my errands and doing what it is that I had to do, um, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and she was telling me, and she's a lot older than me, but I love her. That's my sister, that's my friend. She got my back, I got hers, ride or die, right? But she was telling me about a girlfriend of hers who met this guy, and I don't know, because they're older than me, right? So I think the woman might be in her 70s, right? And she met somebody, she reacquainted herself with somebody that she went to school with. Come to find out, because he was like, "Oh, I'm checking you, whatever." She was kind of giving me a little brief little scenario. Everybody called me about relationship stuff, right? She's telling me about her friend, and the friend is dating the guy and going to see him, and he seems to be a cool enough guy. They have nice conversations on the phone. They've been knowing each other since grade school, whatever. And it turns out that the guy is really like, he can't handle communication. And he literally hung up the phone on her friend, and she said, my girlfriend said, "Oh, I can't be bothered with that." I said, "Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have to take your time to get to know who these people are, right? And whoever they show you they are, that's who they are, right?" And I'm saying that because of the age, right? Because they're in their like 70s, right? So I'm saying that because of the age. And so now the friend won't talk to the man anymore, whatever. And it's all good, whatever. But my point is even in your 70s, like, come on now, right? So, I mean, you can't change people. You got to remove yourself from things that do not honor who you are, that do not go along with what you want for your life. You have to make sure that you're not getting involved with potential, ladies. And for my brothers, stick around her, stay around her long enough, right, that you would be able to see her handle different situations. Because a lot of times my brothers, they get their hearts broken too, right? And it's kind of crazy because men usually look at who the woman is and they don't want her to change. They want her to stay how she is when he met her. And real talk, like, everybody knows how to talk nice and be nice in the beginning, right? You got to hang out with her long enough to see what her true character is like, right? So that you don't mess around and get your heart broken. Because, a lot of times, and I know how it is for men, they want to have sex. Hey, Renee, I see you, boo. Hey, Renee, what I'm supposed to be sending you the book? I'm not sure. I don't know who I was sending it to. It's like, I need some information. I'll talk to you later. But anyway, so, yeah. So a lot of brothers get their hearts broken as well, because they believe that this woman, who she is, she's dynamic, she's fly. I like how she looks, I like how she dressed, I like how she represents herself. But you have not seen her in different seasons of her life, right? How she handles business, how she handles her credit, how she keeps, her home if you just started dating her and you haven't been in her home, right? Like, sometimes men be so caught up in how beautiful she is that, they think that this is who she gonna be. They don't know when she get home. You know what I'm saying? She might pull the wig off. She ain't beating her face, because she don't stay like that all the time. She cute. She got fly clothes. But I mean, let's be real, right? So men begin to see the woman in her authentic self. And a lot of times, they don't like what they see, right? And men don't marry or men don't get too involved with potential. They want to see what a woman is going to do. I'm trying to cut down the volume on my cellular phone, y'all. That's what my mother used to say, cellular phone. And a lot of times men get involved with who they think she is, right? And then they're very disheartened. They're very upset. They're angry. They felt like they wanted to live a life for her. And there's a lot of brokenhearted men out here as well. So I'm talking about getting to know the person, getting to really know them, and stop, losing yourself in relationships around people who, just because you see some potential in them, right? Or you think that the person that you see is a representation of all that they are, because that's not true. That is absolutely not true, right? And a lot of people, and this is for my younger sisters and brothers, because I know they think sex first of all, everybody think their sex game is on fleek. I mean, let's be honest. Yo, I be putting it down. Oh my God. Okay. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. I mean, like who, ain't nobody else gonna big you up. Big yourself up, right? That's what you do. If ain't nobody else gonna tell you beautiful, tell yourself you're beautiful. If ain't nobody else gonna tell you handsome, you tell yourself you're handsome, right? So everybody think their sex game is on fleek. But sex is not gonna keep them. I'm just telling you straight up. Sex is not going to keep nobody. Sex is like, when you're younger, women have a tendency, when you're a young girl, young lady, have a tendency to think like, if I have the baby, the baby's going to keep them around. No, it'll keep them in your life for the next 18 years, doing whatever, but that's not going to keep a relationship. And sex is not going to keep a relationship. Right. And so a lot of people, that's why you're always losing. And this may not be for anybody that's on this live right now. But I'm just saying, like, when you think about it, like, you can have the dopest sex game and you still not give your partner what they need, and they're not going to stay with you. Right. I mean, there are some people who are out there who are just like whooped. Right. And you could be an amazing and wonderful lover and they could like that, but not like you. Right. And so we want to get to healthy relationships. Right. But part of the reason why we be losing in relationships is because I see y'all watch and say, hey, share this video out if you like it. Share this video out. Do me that favor. Right. But people really believe, because people can have a really, really good sex game. I mean, I wouldn't know, but, necessarily. But real talk, they could be dope and then they still got to go because they got a bad attitude. Right. So we lose in relationships because we make sex a priority over and above how a person treats you. Right. And I'm not saying that for women, because some women to be with a man that's got a whack sex game. Right. I've heard it. But he's a good guy. He's genuinely a good guy. I mean, anybody can attest to that. Y'all know what it is. He could be whack, but he's a really, really, really good guy. Or she could be whack, but she's a good homemaker. Like, she take care of business, right? I mean, let's just keep it real, right? And so we don't always really know if people are not being open and honest and saying and speaking the truth about how they really feel, so that you can work on those things to get to a healthy and happy relationship. So a lot of times people believe, right, that, my sex game is dope, right? And I could do whatever I want to do, and they got a nasty attitude, right? And there's other people whose sex game is dope. I'm sorry, whose sex game is not dope, but they're really, really good people, right? And if you could just work through some of the issues that you have, then everything would be good. But sex does not keep people no more than a baby keeps relationships together. And I know a lot of people think that, but that's not true. That is definitely not true, especially if you got a bad attitude. I mean, honestly, come on here. I don't care how good your sex game is, if you don't treat me nice. You can be dope, but no, we're not doing that. Okay, we're not doing that, because I'm not doing bad attitudes. And I know a lot of men is like, yo, she, I'll mess with her, I'll sleep with her, but I ain't gonna wife her. I'm not trying to have nothing with her. I'll just sleep with her. That's it. That's all she getting from me, right? I might buy her dinner every once in a while, but that's it. When I feel like it, right? Because that's, she got the ill nana butt, right? Okay. The other thing is, we always lose ourselves, we are always losing in relationships because we get involved with people who do not take accountability for who they are. It's true story. When you meet somebody and they're in a relationship, right? You're in a relationship with them and you're just dating or whatever, and you hear the story and the story does not afford any accountability in the story that they're telling you. They could be talking about their ex. It could be a male or female. It doesn't matter. If a person does not take accountability for where they are or what happened in that past relationship, the part that they played in it, it's a safe bet that you're going to lose in that relationship, because they're going to turn right around. And if anything goes off the rails, if you have a disagreement about something and the person does not take responsibility or accountability for who they are or where they are in their lives, if a person can't say, I'm sorry, that's huge. And that's a huge red flag. It's like, it's a big giant red flag, doing like this in the air. If a person doesn't know how to say, I'm sorry, it could be, babe, I'm sorry, I was 10 minutes late. Babe, I'm sorry. I was doing something for my mom or my cousin, and I'm sorry I ran a little over. Check out the way that a person holds themselves accountable. That's important. That's vitally important. And I'm saying these things so we can stop losing in relationships. These are things that you could, like literally take notes, like think about it, right? Take a little note. If a person's not being accountable to their past, they're not going to be accountable in their future, right? And prayerfully, people change, because people can change. But is that something that you truly want to be in? Do you really want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't hold themselves accountable for what has happened in their lives? Right? I don't know. I don't think so. Right? Here's the other thing. Women, especially, but men have it too. Pay attention to your gut. Pay attention to what your intuition is telling you. Pay attention to what you see. Don't be so enamored with the person, right? That you just be like, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. You do whatever. Oh, they so cute. Oh, he's so fine. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. That you forget, right? And you just ignore your intuition. That's crazy. I remember almost anybody that I've ever talked to, even if I just talk to them, right? I will feel something about them. Their energy is something about them. And I promise you, God be speaking to me about people. He be showing me a lot of stuff about people. And I know he don't just show it to me. He shows it to you. But you can't be so enamored with people that you don't stop and pay attention to what your gut is saying. Because your gut ain't lying to you. It's something about the gut. It's something about the gut, right? It's something about the gut. Pay attention to that. Because I'm telling you that when people show you who they are, and your gut and your instinct is saying to you, this is who they are, believe your gut. And just wait. You don't even have to, don't say anything. You don't need to say anything. I remember I was talking to this guy one time, and I said, you're not telling me something. And he looked at me crazy. I was like, you're not telling me something. I said, you holding back, but you can tell me. It's not going anywhere. And he just kept looking at me like I was crazy. But I knew. And I didn't know what it was, but I knew he was holding something back. And one day he told me, and I didn't, treat him differently or anything. I still was just talking to him, but, like I knew. And so I know that women know, men have it too. Men, it's not just for women, but it may render itself differently in men. But pay attention to that. And the other thing is to listen to what they're saying out of their mouths. Listen to what they're saying out of their mouths. I'm going to go right here. Victoria, you said respect will keep me, but the physical won't if your attitude sucks. Hello, somebody. Say so, Victoria. Say so. Okay. Real talk. Because honestly, if you don't respect me, and this is how men feel too, but I'm big on respect. Like, you have to respect me. I don't care how fly your game is. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to find out how good your game is. I'm not even going to find out how good your game is because, in terms of sex. But real talk, I'll find out in due season, if you understand. But if you don't respect me, we definitely ain't going nowhere. We're definitely not going anywhere, right? Because I don't need that in my life. You got to watch what people do and listen to what people say. It has to be in alignment. It has to be in alignment. This is Thought Provoking Thursday, y'all, and y'all know I haven't done it in like a week or two, and honestly, I just want to know what your thoughts are around what I'm saying, right? Because there's a lot of people that are out here, and the reason why they always losing in relationships, and I'll say it again, I said it before, is because they keep picking the low hanging fruit, right? They keep picking low hanging fruit. And you know why they keep picking low hanging fruit? Because they don't think that they deserve anything more. If I could be honest. And the reason why they don't think they deserve anything more is because they're not healed. So they just deal with whatever they get. And then they think if I date down here, then chances are I'm not going to get as hurt because they're going to need me. And I know that y'all think I'm talking about men, but no, I'm talking about women too. Women date beneath themselves, and they do it all the time because they want to have some control. Okay, I ain't trying to step on nobody's toes. Ouch, just say ouch, right? They'll date beneath themselves in a New York minute and be trying to raise them up and make them. If he ain't there, he ain't there. I tell sisters that all the time. One of the key things is to stop, really, real talk. You can't make nobody over. They got to want to make themselves over and be a better version of themselves, right? But a lot of times, men and women, they date beneath it because they need to be healed. And so you're going to keep getting the same crap you've always gotten because you haven't healed yet. You need to work on that. You definitely need to work on that. The other thing is stop overlooking red flags. Let me tell y'all something. Them red flags be waving. They be waving. And it's like red flags, like they never call you when they home, right? Or when they call you, they always complaining, right? Another red flag. Or they complaining about their kids and they not talking to their children's mother, right? What's the problem there? You can't co-parent? What's going on? Or they haven't seen their kids, right? And not because the mother like stopping them, right? These are huge red flags. Another red flag is they just got out of a relationship. They're not ready for you. That's another red flag. So you would then potentially be the rebound woman or man. They just want somebody to fill up space until they get their head right. That's a red flag. If they've been in a long-term relationship and you met them a month after, give it some time. You do not, and I repeat, do not get yourself caught up because your whole heart will be broken and you'll feel defeated because if they just got out of a relationship and it's been a month or two and they were in a long-term relationship or they was married and they just recently got a divorce, right? I mean, divorces happen long before you actually go to court, but whether or not they're really ready to be in a new relationship, you better be ready to be their friend. Don't get head over heels. Don't get caught up. I got caught out there like that. I ain't trying to tell y'all all my business, though. Hey, I see you, brother. What you say? So much self-infatuated with complacency. Ooh, okay. All right. I love that, brother. Okay, now. Okay. Yes. And they don't want to do anything. They don't want to live out all full out. They don't want to live a full life. Like they don't want to take vacation. They're good with the status quo, and they're complacent. And they love where they are. When you have a very adventurous spirit and you want to go out and you want to see the world, you want your partner to be able to rock with you. Hello, somebody. Because you know what? I just had this conversation with a girlfriend of mine. It's like, girl, I'm ready to vacation. I just retired. I'm ready to vacation. I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to have me a good time and enjoy my life. And then they'll meet somebody, you know, they want to do is sit in front of the TV. Like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Because you need somebody that's on the same, you know, that's, you know, matching your flies, same energy, same, you know, right. They want some of the same things you want. Right. And I think a lot of times we don't always take the time to find that out. Right. Because we be so infatuated with the fact that somebody loves us and likes us and they fly and they cute and, you know, or he handsome and, you know, he just got it going on. Right. And, you know, I've done it. I've done it. Like, he fine. But then, you know, 3-4 months in, you looking and you're like, you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to go to Aruba. You don't want to do nothing. Because I like to travel. You know, I just don't always post everything I do on social media, but I like to do things. I got crazy pictures from stuff that I've done. Nobody don't even know I've done because I'm not trying to post everything I do on social media. Right? Everybody don't need to know what I'm doing when I'm doing it. Right? But my point is that I need somebody who has the same energy that I have, who wants some of the same things that I want. And I'm saying that to you, and I always use myself as the example because I'm sure that a lot of people feel like that. You know, and especially my brothers. There are women who are literally like homebodies. They love to stay home, and all they want to do is bake cakes and stuff like that. And I heard you. That ain't my testimony, but heard you, right? Like, there's brothers who really want that type of woman, and there's somebody out there for you. But if you're a type of person who wants to go travel the world and go to Bora Bora and, you know, Dubai and all of this other stuff, you know, come on now. You know, you don't want to get, you know, caught up in a relationship with somebody who don't even want to go to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious? Like, really? Really, really? But when you know that a person, when you see red flags, don't ignore them. Because every single time you ignore a red flag that you can clearly see, like Stevie Wonder could see, what you're doing is you're dishonoring yourself and you're dishonoring what you say that you want for the sake of saying, I have someone. I mean, you can't ignore the red flags and then expect that your relationship is going to be the bomb, right? Because you're trying to let things slide just for the sake of keeping peace, especially in the beginning. There's no keeping peace in the beginning. In the beginning, should be happy, happy, joy, joy. You should be learning each other. You should be going out. You should be dating. You should be going to restaurants. And I'm not saying you got to spend up all his money. You should be going to the park. You should be going for a walk around the lake, you know, going to the beach. You could be doing some fly stuff that's really not expensive, right? And that's the time that you know, just sit and talk. That's the time that you get to know one another. That's the time that you lean into, you know, being vulnerable and allowing yourself to be that person, right? Hey, Toy, I see you. I see you. Yeah. When you do that part, and you allow yourself to get to know the other person without, you know, jumping in the bed, because everybody want to jump in the bed. Like, no, take your time. It's all right. If it's the person that's meant to be with you, then everything is going to work out fine. Hey, boo-boo, I see you. But yeah, you don't have to, honestly. And I'm not, you know, I know everybody grown and y'all going to do what y'all want to do anyway. I could say don't sleep with nobody, but that, you know, what do that mean? It don't mean nothing. But my point is take your time to get to know them. Because when you take your time to get to know someone, and you really lean into being vulnerable and true intimacy, you know, because y'all walking on the beach and y'all holding hands, y'all creating flying memories. You're actually bonding, right? It strengthens your relationship. So if you think, you know, like, oh, I want to strengthen it some more and just have sex, sometimes you throw everything out of whack. Because now you don't have sex with them, and now you're 2 months in, and you find out that you really don't like them, that you don't really have as much in common as you thought you had, that you don't have the same spiritual or religious beliefs. You're not equally yoked financially. They're not on the same page. They was just, you know, fronting for the gram, right? Oh, you know, whatever. You know, they were just saying, oh, I'm gonna take you here. And they really couldn't afford it. So they was maxing out their credit cards trying to keep up to treat you good, right? You got to get to know people. You really have to take your time to get to know them. This is just real talk, right? And so we have to stop putting ourselves in compromising situations, because that's why we always lose in relationships. We don't take our time to get to know who a person is, right? So I see y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. I'm looking at nobody's really commenting that much tonight. Yeah, you gotta learn each other, Toya. Toy. You have to learn each other. You have to. If you don't, you're gonna find yourself brokenhearted all over again. And that's real talk. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't love love, but I love being loving, right? And when you have a good partner, when you have a healthy relationship, right? You want to be in a relationship where you could just constantly be pouring in to your partner. You can't constantly pour in to somebody that's not operating in an honorable way that honors who you are and who you want to be and what you want for your relationship and for your life, right? So we at this particular juncture, at this age, we should be over loving, being in love with love. It's about pouring in. It's about loving the fact that we can pour into one another, right? Toy says, I was just having this conversation with someone. They had a dude who blessed them with everything, but stated the man's penis was small. I said, so you let it all go because of small penis, baby? You a fool now. She's stuck with a big penis and a dude that don't do anything with her for her belly. See it. Okay now. Okay. You know what? I don't. You must have been watching when I was talking about that. You must have been watching, but you hadn't said anything. And to be honest with you, yeah. If you feel like that's what you need to do, if you're going to have sex and you're going to do what you do, yeah, do what you do, but understand the cost for what because a lot of women. Oh, you just came in. I was just talking about that. I was talking about sex. Sex don't keep people. People think it, men, because everybody think their sex game is on fleek. Everybody, like, my sex game's on fleek. I mean, everybody. Listen, everybody. Yo, I'll do this, and this. I hear women say it, I hear men say it. Okay, I ain't mad. Do your thing, right? But sometimes you pass up a really, and you know what though, Toy, to be honest, see how God aligns everything up? Because I talked about that earlier. Here's the thing. Women will deal with a guy who got a mediocre sex game. They really will. And he'll never know that he got a mediocre sex game, because she'll make him feel like his game is on fleek, right? But then you got to check the attitude, right? Like you said, I got to tune in some more. I got to put my notification. Okay. But you see how you said that she left the guy and she said she couldn't be bothered with that part, but he was a good guy. He did everything. Yeah. That's what happens. Real talk. And sex is such a vitally important part of the relationship. But a woman will stay with a man, hang out with him, love on him, build a whole life with him, and his sex game is whack. I'm so serious. I know women who have done it. They wasn't with him because his sex was so good. They was with him because he was a good guy. He was a good man. Right? I know it. And then when you get with a guy who's doing, he holding, he packing, but he don't treat you right, because he's slinging more than likely everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He got multiple women. He but that's not necessarily the case. But and he don't treat you worth a dime. That's why sex is not a good reason to be together with someone. Real talk. And we're losing in relationships and having our hearts broken because we have not stacked the deck in our favor. We haven't. We just keep, repeating the same behavior over and over again and expecting something different to happen. But if you keep doing what you've always done, how do you expect something to be different in your life? I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. Because we really truly got to change. We got to change the way we think. We got to align ourselves with our truth and what it is that we want. Right? Because this is crazy. And then I see so many brokenhearted men and so many brokenhearted women out here. And it's like, it's a vicious cycle. And everybody wants somebody to love them. Everybody wants somebody that's in alignment with them. Everybody wants to be respected and treated well. But instead, we get bad attitudes because the last person you was with left you toe up. And now you bring in that same nonsense into your next relationship. And this is for both men and women. Because there's a lot of broken men. And if you gave them real love, I'm sorry, I forgot. Or you get with somebody and they just broke up with somebody else. And you think, I'm going to get with them. Oh, they amazing. They wonderful. They not over their exes. You may or may not know that. They be like, oh, we just broke up, 6 months ago. In all actuality, they just broke up with them a month ago. And you happen to be the next person that they met. And they come into your life and they wreak havoc. Because their heart is really not into you. That's why you got to pay attention to not only how people treat you, but listen to their words. I always say this. Here's the disclaimer. I'm going to ask you to say, what you say, a cookie is just a cookie after you have had that cookie. Abigail, I see your comment. Wait a minute. I see that comment. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Oh my God. So he's in love with somebody else. And somebody else doesn't treat him right. But he stays. He deals with all of that crazy for the longest time. You get with him, but he's still in love with her, or she's still in love with him. And they might have broken up, but they'll tell you it was 6 months ago. And in all actuality, it was 2 or 3 months ago. But they know that you're wise enough to know, and then you start to see telltale signs. And they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about the disclaimer. When when a person tells you they don't want a relationship and you continue to move forward, right? You just signed a waiver that says, I'm willing to take this roller coaster ride. And if I get injured, I get injured and I'm going to deal with the consequences. Whether you know that consciously or not, that's what you're doing. You are signing a waiver to say, do whatever you want to be. A lot of guys used to say they married, right? They would be married guys because, I meet all types of guys. And I was like, I don't mess with married men. They'd be like, no, but I'm going to get a divorce. I said, okay, this is what I need you to do. I need you to get a divorce. I need you to holler at me 3 years later. Don't come, because I don't want no part. You need to heal. Divorce tears people apart. Because it's not just a natural, on paper divorce. It's a spiritual ripping. And people don't understand that. When you enter into covenant agreement with God about the person that you marry, you don't understand. You have just said to God and in front of everybody in the church house or at the Justice of the Peace, wherever you is, you're saying, I do. I accept this. And people don't understand the divorce, whether it's amicable or not. There is something that is going on in the spirit realm in reference to that. And you are butt hurt, regardless to whether it was amicable or not. So if you're about to get a divorce and you feel like, oh, Kim, I just want to be with you. That's what I tell brothers all the time. I be like, oh, you think I'm in, huh? Okay, I heard you. Listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm like, this is what we're going to do. If you was going to get a divorce, go ahead. Do what you was going to do, but stay over there. Holler at me 3 years later. You need to be healed. What you say, Toy Toy? Hold on. I tell people all the time, you will know what real love feels like when you love yourself. Hello, somebody. When you love yourself unconditionally, you will know what real love feels like. And in fact, when you gain clarity around what it is that you want, when you see it, you'll know it as well. It'll be because you do love yourself. It'll be because you've taken the time to sit with yourself, sit with your feelings, to figure out what it is that you want and what it is that you need for your life. And then one day, out of the blue, and you're not paying any attention, some amazing person is going to walk into your life and blow your proverbial mind. And the reason why that happens is because you're clear now. But you got to get clear. It's that part, right? You got to get clear. You got to know exactly what you want. Otherwise, you'd be running from the frying pan into the fire. And so if you want to really, truly be clear, I can tell you honestly, as much as I pray about this, as much as I even pray about what we talk about, what I come on here live, I'm going to know him when I see him. And you're going to know her when you see her. And you're going to know him when you see him, when you've done the work. When you sat down and you figured out what's important to you and what it is that you need, right? And you going before God's throne of grace with that in mind, praying without ceasing, understanding what your needs are, it changes the entire game for you. Real talk. And everybody used to say, well, how will you know you're in love? You'll know it. You'll know love when you see love. You will know love when you see love, because love shows up and presents itself in a way. And I'm beginning to believe, and I mean this, and maybe it's because of my age and the dating pool, right? But I'm beginning to believe that you will probably at best meet 2 people in your entire lifetime that you truly love once you begin to love yourself. Now, you might have already met the person, right? But it may not be the appointed time. But as soon as you begin loving yourself, they will rise to greet you. And I kind of, in a real way, believe in soulmates, right? And so what I think about that is that they're just a person who is everything that you have been praying for. And I believe it exists. I believe that it exists. Because I know that God hears our prayers, and I know that he knows what we need. And it's somebody who just matches with you like peanut butter and jelly, right? It's just somebody who gets you and you get them. So love reveals itself at the point that we begin to love ourselves. And I always tell people this too: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Let me see. Okay, gotta keep God first, and he will lead you. I wasn't following his will before. I was just doing what I felt was right and was wrong the whole time. He placed me in the most uncomfortable situation in the past relationships over and over again until I did it his way. You know what, Toy, I'm telling you the same. My brother says self-love doesn't always equate to a prosperous relationship. How can you love another person? Is that a real question? Is that a real question? Or are you just making a statement? Self-love doesn't always equate to a prosperous relationship. Sometimes it doesn't. That part I do know. And I don't know if people usually see self-love as taking long baths, going to get your hair, taken care of, for women, going to get your hands and your feet done. That looks like self-love. But self-love renders itself as you honoring yourself and honoring what you need. And so it doesn't always I'm gonna come back to that. It doesn't always render itself, honestly, as being equating to a prosperous relationship. Because sometimes the person that you want or need to be in your life is not there. They don't exist right now in the realm that you're in right now, in the space that you're in right now. Right? So it doesn't always equate to that. And that's how we end up settling. That's how we end up settling. Real talk. Right? So, because we think like I'm ready. You know how many times I told God I was ready? I wasn't ready, but I told him I was ready. I was like, God, I'm ready. God, I'm ready. God, I'm ready. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't. And I'm being honest, right? So, because I love myself, doesn't mean that I've worked out the kinks that I need to work out. And I'm just being honest, right? I still needed to do some, there still needed to be some molding going on in there. And it's easy to say, hey, Maurice, how you doing? So it's easy to say that you dope and you know how to have a good relationship when you're not in one, right? It's real easy to say that. It's like, oh, I know how to be a good wife. I know how to do, yeah, because you ain't in one. But what happens when your partner, does something that you don't agree with? How you gonna handle that? Are you gonna handle it how you handled it like when you were younger? Or are you gonna handle it from a different perspective? Right? Honestly, people don't even understand this concept. But truthfully, I'm gonna be honest. All of our battles as wives and as husbands should be fought down on our knees in prayer. And I'm not trying to be funny. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, what? Instead of arguing, just go in your prayer closet. Instead of being disappointed, just go in your prayer closet. You want to win a battle? You want to win for real, for real? You want things to change in your life? You want to be able to you have to have that kind of thinking, to be honest with you. You got to have that kind of thinking in order to win. Because you always going to win with God. You always going to be victorious with God. I'm telling you, you can't lose, right? So you love yourself, but you want to be in a relationship, and then sometimes a knee-jerk reaction because like we got these flashbacks, right, of what happened to us in our past, and that thing will come up before you know it, tongue like a guillotine, and coming off with their head, right? Don't even realize you can't take that back, and sometimes verbal abuse is worse than physical abuse. And I'm not saying, physical abuse. I don't want nobody inbox me, tell Kim, what are you talking about? I just want you to understand, like, we literally can do each other in if we do not watch what we're doing. And I know that a lot of people will like me say, oh, you got to tell him off, cuss him out, put him in his place, put her in her place. Don't let her rule the house. Listen, a leader, you a man, you the leader, set the tone for your relationship. When things is out of control in your relationship, in your marriage, take your wife by her hand and get down on your knees. Y'all pray together. Y'all pray together. And the only way it don't work is if you let ego get in the way. I'm not trying to be funny. I know a lot of people that can't get out of here with all that foolishness. Oh, okay. You want to win? You want to be victorious? Lead her in prayer. And then treat her the way that God told you to treat her. Set the tone in your house. Yeah. None of this back and forth. And I tell my sisters, like, what's going to happen if you get married, right, and you do something foolish? What you going to do? You going to flip off on them like I used to flip off on your old boyfriends? You going to have a flashback, and you're going to be like, oh, my God. And then you're going to start wilding out. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. Because we're getting too old for that. Now, if I was talking to somebody that was 25 or 35, I would probably tell them the same thing, but you can't even wrap your head around that sometimes. Like, what are you saying? What are you saying? I gotta just pray? I don't get to say anything? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's a way to deal with things. And as you get older, you use a different, you use wisdom. You know what I'm saying? You go to God and you say, God, show me. Show me, because sometimes it's not even them, it's you. Right? Okay. All right. I don't want to cussing me out tonight. But real talk. Sometimes it ain't even your partner, it's you because you're not on top of your game. And I'm just for my sisters and my brothers. Right? You got a whole attitude. And your attitude is coming from a place that don't have nothing to do with that relationship. Sometimes it's some childhood trauma. Right? Sometimes it's something that came up for you 7-10 years ago. And you still holding on to it. Right? Sometimes it's not your partner. Sometimes it's you. And so God will reveal that to you if you out of bounds. Right? He will. But he'll also reveal it to your partner as well and let them know that they're out of bounds. But if you're constantly trying to pray for one another and encourage one another and support one another, like them two little Bugs Bunny chipmunks in the Bugs Bunny cartoon, I promise y'all, I talk about that all the time because I think that that's the dopest way to explain how relationships should be. So those are my two favorite characters in terms of relationship. No, after you. No, after you, preferring one another. I always talk about them. Because we really want relationships like that, but we have to be built for that. You can't be flying all off the handle and flipping out on people and then wondering why you keep losing in relationships. You know why? Because sometimes we don't know how to keep our mouth shut. We don't know how to go to the Lord in prayer. We don't know how to say, I'm sorry. We don't know how to apologize. We don't know, to lean in and say, babe, what is wrong with you? Babe, I know your behavior is different today, but this is not who you usually are. Whether you're talking to a woman or a man, right? But your honey, your baby. Hey, babe, you don't act like this. What's going on? And giving them time to process what's going on without bum rushing them to, oh, no, because you bugging out. Look, give them a minute to process. Because maybe they don't even understand what's triggering their behavior, right? Because we don't take time to get to know one another and above all, be friends. Be friends. A lot of dudes marry the girl with the fatty because she a bad chick. She bad, she holy something. And she don't have no substance or no intestinal fortitude to stand with you. You walk away broken and vowing never to get yourself involved with anybody else again. Sisters, do the same. Now, everybody in their corners, in their respective corners, it ain't nobody loving nobody. And that's the tragedy in that. That is the tragedy. Because technically, let me tell you something. There is not a day of the week that I don't need my brothers. There is not a time in my entire life, and I'm not talking about my biological brothers. I'm talking about my brothers who I rock with, who call me on the phone. There's not a time that I can honestly say that I've been in the middle of anything dealing with my children, dealing with something that's heavy on my heart, and I can't call up one of my brothers on the phone and say, listen, like Kim, got you. What you need, okay, I got you. Right? I need y'all. We need y'all. Because sometimes we don't have anybody else who's going to rock with us, who's going to stand with us. So I need my brothers on deck all the time. And I'm not afraid to say that. I'll call you and be like, yo, I need you. Period. Right? Now, if I got a band, that ain't going to be the situation. But you see what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. But you understand, we can't be afraid, ladies, to use that language. Because it's the truth. But then we also need people that love and care about us enough to come and help us and be there for us, and we be there for them, because it's not a one-sided thing. It's not a one-sided thing, right? We also need somebody to be there for us, because it's not a one-sided thing. Let's be clear. You know what, Maurice? You are hilarious. I'm not doing this with you, Maurice. I'm not doing that with you, Maurice. So when you pray in the closet, you are hilarious. So, but here's the thing. You need somebody to stand with you. But to my brothers, we need somebody to love and care about us enough without all of that ulterior motive either. Because a lot of times, and my brothers will tell me this straight up. Like men can be predators. They lay in the cut until you have a vulnerable moment. And they'll wait because they want you. But they're not bold enough to walk up to you and say that, so they're going to sit on the friend zone. They'll say, oh, I'll be your friend. And you can call them up 10, 20 times, and they'll always come through for you. They're going to rock for you. But the truth is, if you let them hit it, they're going to hit it. They're going to wait for that moment when you're vulnerable. Oh, you need me? You know, I'll be like, I need you. I need you to come and fix my sink or, you know, whatever. Oh, you need me? Oh, okay. Got you. And then it's got you. We got to be on, you know, ladies, for real, sis. Well, my sisters, be careful. Be careful. Real talk. But you got some brothers who are stand-up brothers who just want to love on you and have your back and are going to look out for you. They may see your garbage cans out on the street and bring your garbage cans back. I want you at your strongest. Yeah. Why would, right. But you know this, Maurice. Maurice, you know this. You know what the brothers do. You know what they do. And I think a lot of men know, you know, and that's why a lot of men don't trust men. They're like, oh, you got male friends? Yeah, okay, right? And I think I'm finally seeing it. I'm finally understanding the reason why, because it's almost like you can't trust, right? I have a lot of good dudes, though, in my life, like Darren Green, Russell Harris. You know, like I can name a Kobe Hurdle. Ramel Smith. I have a lot. And they'd be like, yo, sis, what you need? You good? And I might not talk to them once every 2.5, 3 months. Right? They not like, you know, like, sis, you good? Everything good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And I'll just call them and say, hey, brother, how you doing? I ain't talked to you in a minute. Right? And those are my male friends. But then for brothers who are in your face all the time and every day, you got to be careful, ladies. Because if they in your face all the time, and they always around you, they waiting. They waiting. And Maurice, you know this is the truth. Kobe, you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth. All my brothers that are watching, real talk. Y'all know it's the truth. Y'all may not openly say that. Kim, you try to mess it up for all of us, right? Because that's exactly what we do. But it's true. If he around you all the time and he just helping you, he always with you and you don't see him seeing nobody, he might very well like you. He might think a lot of you. But if his intentions, if he says, I'm not really looking for a relationship, but he always around you, he trying to boink you. He trying to don't stop, get it. He trying to get the good. You better fall back. Tell him, oh, no, I'm good, babe. I'm on my way out. Don't do that because you're going to get caught up and you're done. He going to have you and you're going to be jacked, right? Real talk. You're going to be left like, oh, my God, he was so nice to me. He was so good to me. He did everything for me. And oh, my God. And I just thought he was my everything and da-da-da-da-da because he was so good to me. No, he wanted to get you. And he got you. And now he's done with you. And he'll begin to change on you. Real talk. Real talk. I talk to my brothers and they be telling me some stuff. And I be like, y'all play too much. And I'm not talking about my close, like brothers, but like I observe men's behavior. And a lot of women don't pay attention. And that's why I was saying, that's why we always lose it, because we don't pay attention. We don't listen. We're not actively engaged. We get so enamored with, this is for men and women, with what we see. Because they fine. Because he handsome. Because she beautiful. Because she got the fatty. No, because his pockets is a little bit deep. Or so it seems. Right? He got a nice ride. You know, whatever. Get all caught up in that. And they be steady telling you, nah, I'm just chilling. I don't really want a relationship. But they want to be around you every day. They saying, sign the waiver, please. Can you sign the waiver? Can you sign a waiver to get on this roller coaster? And whatever happens after this, you on your own, sis. Because I already told you what it was. Y'all better pay attention here. Y'all better pay attention. Then you're left on the side of the road bleeding out because they had an agenda for women too. All they wanted you to do is spend your loot up on that. That's all they wanted you to do. They ain't holding nothing of their own. Listen to me, because if I can go out to dinner, get my nails done, if I could get him to get me this LV bag, y'all better stop playing with me. For real, I'm telling y'all. And or she's like, oh, hi, baby, how you doing? Yeah, you coming over? You know what? Oh, my light bill got to be paid. Okay, y'all better stop playing. I'm so serious. Listen, this has been amazing. You guys are awesome and wonderful. And I really appreciate y'all watching my Thought Provoking Thursday. I hope that this was helpful to you. I want to just share this with you. It's the predator and prey relationship. It really is. Because you don't know, Heather Gale, you don't know who's trying to use. Like, you have to pay attention. And I'm not telling you to be suspect of everybody, right? I'm not saying that. Right? Because once you gain clarity, you're not even going to entertain everybody. Can I keep it real? You're going to know out the gate, like, nah, they ain't it. Mm-mm. I'm not even going to waste my time. Okay, friend zone, boop. Okay, friend zone. Okay, boop. Right? You're not going to give them that kind of time. Right? Some people are just passing through. But you got to look at the quality and their integrity and their character. And I will preach that until the cows come home for both men and women. Like, every woman don't deserve you. And every man don't deserve you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Shirley. I am so glad you enjoyed it. Yes, family. Yes. Yes. You know, everybody don't deserve you. And everybody shouldn't have you. Why I got on here late. Let me tell you why I got on here late today. Not because I planned on getting on at 9. But I got on like 10 minutes late because I was doing something and something popped up on my watch, on my cell phone, the little videos that come up. And it was this young lady that was talking about an incident that happened concerning her mother back in 2005. And she began to tell the story about how this guy down in South Carolina had given all of these women in South Carolina, but matter of fact, men had it too. He was sleeping with men too. So he was batting and catching, right? So I was literally like watching. It was like a 6-minute situation. Otherwise, I'd have been on here at 9 o'clock. And I didn't mean to do that, but I found the story to be so interesting because now her mother is an advocate for AIDS, for HIV. And a lot of brothers will get with a sister and a sister will be willing to kick down, right? But they don't know what that sister got. And some brothers will say to me, I think I said this the other day, there's some men be like, yo, is she trying to give it to me? Like, I don't even want it. Because you don't know where she been. Right? But it's the same because this guy, when they put his picture on TV, there was a line, like he had slept with hundreds and hundreds of people in South Carolina. I forget what the young lady said it was. But anyway, I was looking at that, right? And her mother happened to marry him. And she said, you can follow my mother. She's an AIDS or HIV advocate and blah, blah, blah. So I'm listening to this little thing. And I said, wow, like it's real out here. But everybody wants to, instead of getting to know the person, right? Taking your time, trying to figure out who they are, where they've been, you got to hear all of a person's backstory. But you really have to pay attention to what people are doing out here, and you don't know. So then apparently her mother and her were out talking to someone, and the very next day, while they were out talking to someone, come to find out that they were talking to the niece because the aunt, it was a whole nother lady who was in a situation. She was his boss at work. I don't know if y'all heard the story, but she was his boss at work. She was the boss at work, and he ended up she slept with this guy and cheated on her boyfriend with him. And then the boyfriend and her were together. And apparently, she gave the boyfriend AIDS. He came back and he killed her Mother's Day Sunday. This is years ago. But the young lady was telling the story. She was telling the story. The guy who had the AIDS did 5 years. And he was out because he knowingly gave it to people. He knowingly ruined people's lives. So when I say this to you, I'm not saying anybody is exempt. You could get married. You could save yourself into marriage. And sometimes you don't know because things won't manifest itself right away, right? But the reality is if we get our head right, we won't deal with the low-hanging fruit. We at least try to elevate a little bit. And money is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about good character, right? I'm talking about good character. Somebody who has some integrity. Somebody who carries themselves the way that they ought. And I'm being honest, right? So it doesn't really have anything to do with money. It doesn't have anything to do with what a person can do for you. But I'm talking about somebody who really is accountable and takes responsibility for who they are and where they are in their life. And that's why that's important. That is why that's important. You guys are so amazing and so dope. I love y'all. I like some cooked food. I promise y'all. Listen, thanks for watching Thought Provoking Thursday. I'll see y'all back next week here.
Bye.